Instructional resources. Any item that can be seen or heard, touched or cannot be touched, eaten or not eaten, liquid or solid, that can enhance learners' understanding of what is taught in or outside the classroom, are described as instructional materials. Instructional materials are also known in contemporary times as instructional media. What is the best form of instructional materials? The best form of instructional materials are those that provide the learner's opportunity to use as many senses as possible, since every person learns through the 5 senses, namely sight, hearing, smelling, touching and tasting. The relevant importance of teaching learning materials in the teaching-learning process. They make the learner's focus attention on the lesson being taught. Teaching and learning materials promote easy understanding of what is taught. It saves instructional time instead of oral description and explanation, which takes much of the time for teaching. They also provide the opportunity for learners to get involved in the teaching and learning process. As learners talk about the materials and use them, they contribute to the learner's communication ability. Teaching and learning materials are aids to memory. The use of teaching and learning materials promotes self-learning ability in learners. They provide previous knowledge on which future learning could be based. They help to promote transfer of learning. Misbehavior of pupils, boredom and tiredness associated with classroom learning are reduced. Types of instructional materials. In terms of classification, the first category is classified into 3, namely primary, secondary and tertiary instructional aids. Category 1 of instructional aids. Primary aids. These are instructional materials that are real, actual, natural objects found in their natural habitats, for example cattle grazing on the field, fish in a river or pond, aeroplanes in the airport, ships in the harbor, etc. Secondary aids. These are models of real objects, for example models of cubes and cuboids used in mathematics, and models of houses, cars, aeroplanes, gun, snake and animals. 38. Tertiary aids. These are used as 2-dimensional illustrations. They are mainly artificial materials and equipment used in teaching. For example films, maps, globes, photographs, charts, cardboard drawings, chalkboard illustrations, radio talk shows, etc. Category 2 of instructional aids. The materials that mostly come under this category are the visual, audio and audio-visual aids. Visual materials. They are presented to be watched by learners. Materials that come under this category are 3-dimensional materials, printed materials, chalkboards, flannel boards, bulletin boards, pictures from newspapers, magazines, etc. and graphic materials. Audio aids. These are teaching materials that produce only sound. The sound from these materials is what aids teaching and learning. They appeal to only the hearing senses. Audio-visual aids. These are the teaching materials that produce both sounds and pictures. Examples of audio-visual teaching materials are films and videotapes. Measures to ensure benefit from the use of teaching learning materials. Self-preparation. Prepare the environment. Prepare the pupils. Proper use of the materials. Steps to follow when using TLMS. Ensure that the aid can be seen or heard by all if it is a poster, tape, etc. When materials are not adequate in terms of quantity, the learners must be put into groups. Be specific as to what you want the learners to do with the materials. Don't confuse the learners by presenting too many visual aids at a time. Face the class when using visual materials. Make your visual materials attractive in respect of colors and labeling. Present the materials at the point in the lesson which is most appropriate. Pre-try the materials before use to avoid failures and embarrassments. Always choose an aid that suits your topic. Don't use any aid which is likely to embarrass, offend or annoy somebody or some group. Preparation of instructional materials, skills that the teacher needs. Using matchstick figures to produce simple chalkboard and other pictorial illustrations. The art of improvisation. How to identify things possible to be improvised for use in the classroom in the absence of the real objects. The preparation of papier mâche for making models such as highlands and lowlands. The preparation of cardboard drawings, charts, etc. 39. Preparation of cardboard diagrams, steps to follow. Practice drawing or sketching on an old newspaper so as to correct all mistakes before transferring same onto the cardboard to save your cardboard and as well as save cost. All illustrations on the cardboard should have an appropriate and a meaningful heading. If labeled, the label must be very clearly and boldly written. The labeling should be done in a neat handwriting. Use different colors to produce the material, but the colors must not be too many. Chalkboard use. The writing should be bold and legible. The letters used in writing words on the chalkboard should have uniform style. Any information on the chalkboard should be neatly arranged. Spaces should be uniform between words and between lines. Start the lesson with a clean chalkboard and leave the board clean after the lesson. Practice writing on the board at your free time. Use duster and not your hand in cleaning the board. Move to the back of the class from time to time to make sure that all of them can see from their seating position. Chalkboard illustrations should be simple in outline. Should not be complicated in providing details. Should be clearly visible for those sitting at the back to see. Writing on the chalkboard. Writing on the board should be accurate. There should be correct spelling of words. Examples on the board should be correct and good. There should be precise and logical summary. Position of chalkboard in the classroom should be placed where every pupil will see clearly from it. Where teachers will not block pupils' view. Kept away from reflection of the sun. Why some teachers do not use instructional materials. Lack of knowledge about suitable and useful instructional materials. The cost involved in acquiring the materials. The belief that TLM should be ready-made and supplied by GIS. Circuit supervisors do not insist on the use of the materials. Scarcity and unavailability of the materials. 40. Solutions to the problem of non-use of TLMs by teachers. GIS should provide wide range of them for teachers to use when necessary. Inspecting officers and basic school heads should monitor the use of materials by teachers during teaching. Workshop on the presentation and use of TLMs should be organized by the GIS for teachers. Specialized materials for use in schools should be provided by the GIS.